Okay, hello everybody. This is Mike here again. So I have another kind of guest interview here with Mubin. Did I say that right? Hopefully. Yeah. Can you kind of introduce yourself, who you are, and how you got started robotics, and then a little more about your company?
Hi, Michael. How are you? How's everything? Thank you so much for connecting me. And it's my pleasure to be with you and we'll talk further more. So let me just introduce myself. My name is Mohammedd Mallick, and I have started this business uh, almost 2 years back. However, my start was from the information technology, and then we came to digital transformation. And as the demand in the market is growing on the artificial intelligence, robotics, services robots, humanoid robots, which is coming in our life, and then it has just taken my attention to start something with the robot that will be helpful for the human, for the society, that will be make it easy for us in this world. So if you see my background, I have come, or as an education, I have done my MBA from Cardiff University in UK, and then I came to Kuwait as we have business with the family, and then I had to join my family business. But however, it's a different business we had. It's related to equipment and the construction. But though I'm coming from UK studies, something innovative and and I learned and give me an exposure internationally, then I thought something to do a different in GCC market or in Kuwait. Because in Kuwait or in GCC market, if you see, you will not find that much robots company or robots that moving around. But whereas if you see in USA or Mexico, Canada, if you go to European countries, Australia, of course, there is a lot of talks on the robots, artificial intelligence, machine learning. But in GCC, if you see only in the Dubai, they are moving ahead with this kind of technologies.
So you're based out of Kuwait, right? Correct?
Yes, actually, I am based in Kuwait, but I am origin from India in Bangalore. But I have been in Kuwait from past 15 years. So I have landed in Kuwait in 2005.
Very cool. So what? How did you get started in robotics? Just something very recently, or have you been interested in robotics for since you were a kid?
Okay, very interesting question. If you see robotics or robots, when I was a child, around 4 to 5 years, I just do remember I was watching a cartoon coming from Japan called Johnny Soko Robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was loved in that like serial to watch every week that is coming. Even I used to skip my tuition. Okay, I used to bunk my tuition, but I have to watch that robot serial to understand how that machine fly, how that machine fighting to the enemies. And this robot was getting controlled by a small child. So then I was thinking, if that child can control a robot, so that means even I can have a robot and can control. So which can be benefits for us. So and from that my childhood, then it has started or creating my love or attention on the robots. I used to get a robot toy from my cousin. Then I used to draw on my books, and then I used to think that this is the design that I'm going to make. This is the design I'm going to make. However, it was my childhood brain, so that which has developed now to work on it.
Very cool. So is your educational background in business or computer science, or what is your background in
Okay.
educational background?
Yeah, so I have done schooling, then I have done graduation as a business management, and then I did further studies as an MBA in Cardiff University in UK. And over there, I have seen lots of technologies in the studies, but from the beginning, my concentration or my focus was to become an engineer. But my father, who has a company, who was running a company and a business, then he said, your other brother who has done the engineer, so let it be engineer. So you become the businessman so that you can take care of the business or the company in future. So that is the reason I could not go ahead with the studies for the engineering. So I have to choose the business. But still, inside of me, or I can say, I have that capabilities or the an attitude to something to like with the technical part, and that is the reason I love the technical part, and this is the reason which helped me to come to this robotic field. Though I am not engineer or I don't do any coding, but I do understand the robotics part and the programming parts, and let's say the AI is coming, machine learning is coming. Yes, I do understand. So nothing is related to 100% in my education with these technologies or the robotics, but it is an interest that I had or I have in me.
Very cool. So can you kind of quickly, I know you already kind of did it before we started recording, but could you kind of introduce us to all your robots there in the background?
Yes.
Real quick?
So it will be my pleasure to just give a small introduction of the robot that we have. We have this Annie. It's called a tray robot, but we have named them as a service waitress robot. So basically, we are giving this to the restaurant. Okay, not only giving as a solution to the restaurant, but also for the events. There are many events which is coming up. Some people they might not buy it, but they said, okay, we have to make it some innovative opening for the like a business or shop or the restaurant and VIP, like a welcoming guest. So this robot are gone for the also rent. So this is it's a CSJ what I mean from China. So this is one of the product that we have, and then we have a baby robot. It's called a robot, and this is very cute. And if we just put it on the button and then start moving, okay.
Yeah, I've seen this robot. Yes,
Yeah.
it's for kids.
So and this is very cute for especially for the children. It's get attracted. Now why we are doing this small robot for the children, because now if you see the industries or the market demand is coming to robotic services or the service robots. So we have to inculcate these ideas or the innovation into the children, whether it's a school or the college or maybe at home, but they have to understand what is this robot. Because now if we are understanding what is robot, we have to pass this knowledge to our children so that when there is a robot in the market, they know what is this, how to deal with them. So this is robot. And then we have one over here, it's called a Kido, and it's from Sandport, again from China. So basically it is used for the education purpose. And then we have Terminator. Some people just say Terminator, but I have given him the name as a Big Daddy. So it is a promo board from Russia, and it has lots of features and lots of solutions that it can be done.
Yeah. Yeah, the little robot's still dancing in the background. That's fine.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I'll just make him off so that he doesn't disturb us in between.
That's fine.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Okay, cool. Cool. So, yeah, it's funny you mentioned the cartoons and from Japan. Uh, it's interesting how the Japanese culture has embraced robotics. Uh, but I think how I got started and how a lot of people in the U.S. got started is when I first saw Star Wars and I saw R2D2 and C3PO and all the other robots running around. That's how I got when I was a little kid. That's how I got uh, not energized, but my love, my interest in robotics started through that. Um, that's cool. So I also know that you oh man, it's almost a couple months ago. You were involved as a mentor in the Service Robot Weekend Hackathon. So can you kind of give some impressions, some ideas, some thoughts about that? How it went? Uh, did you learn anything? What kind of stood out for you for that Service Robot Hackathon?
Yes, actually, it was a few months back. It was a global hackathon for robotics, and it's a Robocon 2020. which was the focus on the service robot, like how the service robot can help the entire market and develop the easy life for human. So this was the hackathon, and this hackathon conducted in Canada and all around the world. So there are many participants from different countries, and believe me, it was excellent. I have never seen such a event that virtually happened with successful with the team participation, then mentors, judges, and it is awesome. Though we have been staying all around the world at different time zones, we never, like kept as a barrier at the time or a different countries or different race. No, it was perfect competition. It was excellent. It was coordinated excellently with the team or the organization. And I really thank all the participants who have shown their talent, who have shown their innovation. That really, I mean, if I see those, like team who has really worked hard in the weekend and bringing the innovative ideas that can really give benefits to the human. So, and it was really difficult for the judges, and one of the judges was Maurice Corona. And I believe they have really done a very good job by, judging the exact team who is really deserve the prizes and the award. And it has really given up many, it has really given many ideas to people like how this is going to be in the future. For example, let's say I was mentoring few teams, and when I saw their ideas and the way they are going ahead with such a beautiful innovation idea, and they're collaborating together, and then I was mentoring. So one of my team who also won the prizes or the award, mentoring time. So this is, I would say, this kind of event. It gives lots of, like hope for the people who have ideas inside them, but they cannot bring it out. So, for example, now the team which I was working, it was from Australia, and I also gave them the offer to work with me with our robots to integrate their solution and test, which can be in the market. So like this kind of ideas we need to get through in the event. Now, if I see, let's say this event, though it was far away, it is not physical, it was virtual. There is a communication barrier, there is a time zone barrier, okay? But we always help every single team, whether it's out of time, whether it's a sleeping time or morning or evening. No, I would say the organization, the organizer has really done a brilliant job by bringing the entire world in one single platform to have these ideas. And I am sure because of the technology today that we are living in the advancement, okay, the smart world, and it has really given the smart ideas to do such event. And I would be expecting again to happen in this near future by 2021. And I hope, yes, if I am alive, would be there in the event again to join.
Okay, very cool. This is not a criticism of the event, but the kind of the silver lining. Well, make a kind of give some backstory. So one of the silver linings of the COVID-19 and the pandemic is it has opened up this avenue of virtual meetings, not just phone calls, not just emails, but this virtual environment. So I do like the idea in the future. I hope if anybody's listening to me in the future, if you do some kind of online event, uh, uh, in person's great, but if you can also have the virtual online participation. But the big thing is record, uh, uh, record all your videos so that way you can share it with people. Because it's really easy when you do virtual online events. While you're doing the virtual online event or virtual online meeting, please record and then share what you can. I know sometimes you can't share everything and you've got secret information or you're developing something or you got a project, or if you're like in the hackathon, you got this really cool idea and you don't want everybody to know it. I understand that, but record and upload videos of the event because it helps not only promote your event, but it helps bring out that knowledge and that understanding. For this is I'm not really criticizing the hackathon. I'm just saying that hopefully anybody listening to me does the record and sharing of their virtual stuff. So
Actually, I do agree with you, Michael. See, the point which you have said, it is not a criticism, but you are just giving the ideas that which we have not come across. But in future, any such event take place, it is true that we should record it and share, because when you're sharing, we are sharing the knowledge to the world. Okay. Now, this pandemic has brought many things as an innovation or innovative ideas which we are doing by ourselves. But if you're not sharing to the world, then there is no benefits, right? I mean, I am with you. I agree with you. In future, whatever we do it, make sure that it is reach to every single person. Those are watching the videos or they want to gain some knowledge. What is this all about? It's a pretty cool idea. I would really appreciate your ideas, and I would put forward all those events that I'm going to take part. I would always say record, share to the world.
oh yeah, yes, definitely. So uh so let's kind of get into some more robotics topics. Uh, well, let's kind of look at this year, 2020, and then maybe project in the future. So how has the so in your opinion, how has the pandemic, because it's been a huge event for everyone, but how has the pandemic affected you? Uh, I'm also kind of curious how it's affected Kuwait, and how has it affected your business in 2020?
Actually, it is sad also, but at the same time, I would say we should be happy also. Reason to be sad, suddenly that our life has been damaged or stopped, and we have been like feeling we are in a jail. So when you are in a jail, we are not able to do anything in our, like own minds. No, I mean you have to follow certain rules and regulation. That's what pandemic has done. And to be happy, yes, why to be happy? Because many new things and new lessons that we have learned in our life to appreciate and to say thanks to God, and whatever relationship we had, whether we never maintained, but this pandemic has really taught us to maintain those relationships and the relatives and the friendship, whether it's across the borders or you're staying together, whatever. And finally, there are many people who are so busy in their life, whether it's a family life or job or business, but they had time to think over or to bring something new ideas or new innovative ideas that really I have seen during pandemic. I mean, though there was no business, no companies, no operation, okay, but people started thinking over to bring something new innovative ideas. And this is really, and if you see this 2020, I mean, the most active year that startup that came up with the new innovative ideas. So that is, I'm very happy that it has really given us the opportunity to think over. Now, as you said about the countries, let's say about GCC and the business. Yeah, our countries all over the GCC, it was same like all over the world. It was lockdown. It was not allowed to go outside. And there is a partial curfew, full curfew. Follow the rules given by the governments and the Ministry of Health. Yes, to be safe. Okay. And if you see as a business, there are many business that have been shut down, closed because no finance. And then if I see as a myself in our business, as I said in the beginning, that we have been doing IT solutions and services, and then digital transformation, and then robotics. However, this pandemic has done a free marketing for robots. I mean, we don't have to invest any money in the promotion or the marketing or the advertisement that I have robots. The pandemic itself has created the buzzword in the market, the robots. Now, it started from China, then started from Europe, everywhere. You can see in every health sector, whether it's a clinic or in a hospital or any quarantine building, they are using the robots to deliver the like goods, I mean medicines, everything. So now this robot has become so famous everywhere. Now people know what is robots now, and this is which has really affected a good way in our company or in our business. It helps us to promote or sell or give the solution services to the community, to the countries, as well as international location also. We have given the disinfection robots, which is UVC disinfection robots, then dry mist robots, okay, and then delivery robots. It has really picked up the business in terms of robotics, if you see, but because we did the diversification, and that is what it has helped us. Otherwise, we really had time in the financial part, but robot has really saved us.
Okay, very cool. So the biggest thing I've seen, I at the beginning of the year, so like service robots like Snow, and Amy, and some of the robots you have behind you. I didn't. Well, let's see. What I'm trying to say. So the pandemic has kind of changed sort of my focus, because before I thought service robots, meet and greet, informational kiosk, but like this, you said, it's kind of the silver lining to the pandemic is there's different roles and different services that the robots can provide. And one of the really interesting, not exciting, but interesting areas is the ways of disinfecting and cleaning. So you've got the especially for like hospitals, nursing homes, and other places where you have issues with bacteria and viruses collecting on the surfaces and causing problems. So like the UVC robots, have the UVC lamps and the defogger sprayers. I think that's a big business opportunity, or opportunity for robots to help out, because with like the UVC light, it's bad for us, but it doesn't affect the robots. So you could have the robots autonomously driving around and killing the viruses and bacteria with their UVC lamps. And then you have the defoggers, the misters, also. And it helps, it helps save on PPE usage, and it helps alleviate stress of somebody walking around cleaning, thinking, oh, there's COVID-19. I don't want to get COVID-19. I need to wear my gloves and my mask and get all stressed out. But you can have the robots do that. So there's a lot. So like you said, it's a negative, but there's a positive, especially in the field of robotics, because a lot of the stuff it's not, it's the application is new, but the foundations, how the robot does the work, the autonomous driving, the autonomous navigation, that's all there. It's just it's a new skill, or it's the app. It's a new app for the robot to provide that cleaning service. That so if you have somebody quarantined, they can you can have like Amy send them, bring them medicine supplies while they're quarantining, so there's not that, helps the social distancing and so on. So I definitely seen that in this year.
See, if you, as you said, actually, I have UVC light robots with me, but I forgot to just put it on over here. However, as you said, this UVC light is quite threatened to human eyes as well as human skin. Yes, you are right, but we always advise and recommend that when the UVC light is on, there should be no human around the area of UVC lights. And if the humans are there, it should be at least minimum 5 to 8 meters away from the UVC lights. Now, the more closer the objects of UVC light, the faster the cleaning is done, means killing the bacteria and the viruses and the germs. So we should not get in touch directly or direct contact with the UVC lights, and we should not see it. This is, and I mean, we always give the instruction, the manual or the safety and health instruction to the operator who does operation. So, for example, as you said, it's a big opportunity. It's a big opportunity now, as well as it's going to be post-pandemic, because even though the vaccine is out, it will take time to get entire world to vaccinated. Okay, but we have to follow the norms. We have to follow the hygienic part. For example, now in Kuwait itself, I have so much demand for this UVC lights robots, like from restaurant, from banks, okay, from clinics, hospitals. Even a few people, they have requested for their home or villas or bungalows, because when they're traveling and coming to home, they just tell us in advance that we are coming back on such and such day. So we need your UVC robots to be disinfected our whole home. So this is how, like, it has been created the demand in the market. Now, so when we're going as a UVC lights disinfection, of course, our operator is going with the totally dress up with the goggles which they wear. It's a UVC protector goggles, and they have masks. Okay, they have PPE, I mean the special dress to wear it. Okay, and then it's control, and usually we control manually to disinfect because it's a safety instead of putting autonomous. Okay, there is autonomous, but we always take care first about the health of the people that they are around. And secondly, as you said, dry mist you can display anywhere, you can use anywhere, even the humans is there, it doesn't matter. But for the UVC, even in the robot, we have a sensor base that if it detects the human within the range of 3 meters, then it gets shut down the UV lamp, so it doesn't damage. So there's a protocol to be followed for the safety.
Very cool. So this is kind of a side note. There's been a lot of work done on UVC lamps and LEDs. There's potential for in the future we're using, instead of like a lamp, you use like an LED. I think there's a company in Israel working on a UVC disinfectant LED lamps, which is going to be pretty cool. And then there's actually a local company near where I live that's working on a technology called FAR UVC, FAR UV light. And but what they're saying is it's as effective as killing bacteria and viruses, but it doesn't hurt us. It doesn't, give us sunburns and damage your eyes. So FAR UVC might be something cool, and maybe not today, but in years to come, where all in public places you have the FAR UVC lamps on all the time, because it doesn't harm us. So there's like a lot of really cool technology coming out, I think, in the next few years. So that kind of leads me into my next question. So in the short term, what are some of the cool things, or that you could talk about? What are some of the cool things you think are going to be happening next year in the field of robotics? Kind of a look, because it's the end of the year. We're all getting kind of, the year's coming to an end, and now we're looking for next year and what's going to happen next year. What do you see in 2021 in robotics?
Okay. The 2021, it's going to be really a boom for the service robots or robotics. Now, why? Because 2020 is already opened the market. the market is already known what is robots. So whether it's a disinfection robot or a service robot or industrial robot or an education robot, it doesn't matter. But people will jump into it. Now, how? For example, as I said, it's depend on the people how they want to use the robots. Now, so we have a different strategies that myself, I'm creating the awareness in the market. Now, it's like a different industries. Whether you talk about the healthcare, you talk about the education, you talk about the bank, you talk about, like even the home. Okay. Now, let's say if I have the money, I will buy it. If I don't have the money, I'll rent it or I'll lease it. But I will test it how it's going to be very effective for my business. Let's take an example. Now, I am building solutions which is very innovative and it's going to be for a hospitality sector, means hotel. Now, due to this pandemic, the hotel business has really become very poor or financial crisis, and they're struggling to call back their guests. As we know that every country, the borders have been shut down again, the travels has been restricted. So that means the hotels in each country, they're suffering to bring back the loyal customers. Now, if I have a loyal customer, of course, I have to show them that something is good that we have in our hotel, that you are safe, you are not going to be infected. So now, so what is the solution that I am working on? We are developing a robot that it will be in a hotel room, and it is going to be a humanoid robot services, which it will be having the machine learning, artificial intelligence, interaction, okay, and communicative, talkative. So for example, once you enter the hotel rooms, the integration already done with the BMS in the PMS. And for example, let's say Mr. Michael has checked in Crown Plaza, okay, Dallas. Once you come to the room, the robot knows that Mr. Michael has already reserved this room. So once you enter, the robot greet you. Now, whatever is the time, it's afternoon, it's an evening or a morning, it will greet according to the time. And then the robot says, Mr. Michael, welcome to Crown Plaza, and I'll be your assistant for this hotel room. Whatever services you need, you can just call me. And then, so the robots interact with you, start talking to you, and whatever you ask the question, it will be artificial intelligence. All the feeding is there, program about the hotels and the city of Dallas, the famous location, the cities and sites, everything. For example, let's say, and you also tell the robot in the night, okay, please wake me up 6 o'clock in the morning. The robot will ring the bell to call you up in the morning, 6 a.m. Now, once you wake up, then the robot will ask you, do you want to know the news today? So this is what interactive, and then you get everything instead of getting the TV, okay? Now, let's say you have something to get from the, like restaurant. Let's say the robot says, do you like to order the breakfast for you? Then you said, yes, I would like to order the breakfast for me. The robot will give you the menu of the breakfast. It's available. And then you choose the menu, so and so. Let's say you give for fresh orange, okay, then you give sandwich, okay, and then some fruits, fresh fruits. So robots take note of your order and then send the orders to the kitchen or the KOT terminal, and there will be a display on the screen that room number so and so that Mr. Michael has placed the order for the breakfast. Now, once the order is done and prepared the food, then there will be another robot from the kitchen will be coming to your room to deliver the food. So this is all the concept that is, we are working and developing, and it will be very soon in the market. It's an innovative idea at the same time that there is no interaction with the human to be infected or like keep away the distance. So it is like a pretty safe environment that we are working on it. So as I said, so this is going to be 2021 start, but I am also working on few projects with a vision called robot at home by 2050. Means if you calculate, see the whole world, we are having smartphone in our hand, in our pocket, and not only one, two, three. So in the future, my vision is by 2050, we are manufacturing some robot that every home should have a robot. So like a mobile phone or a laptop, you will have a robot. It can be a humanoid robot, not to the 100% services, but yes, to the maximum, at least 80% of the communication with the human and doing the job, doing the services, it will be done.
Yeah,
So
right. So, um, so on the phones, so a lot of people have phones, and there's a lot of similarities between a butler, service assistant, Alexa, kiosk, robot. In my mind, in the future, I think, I mean, even like the iPhones are getting LiDAR now, but I think a personal assistant, phone, robot are going to sort of kind of merge more. So instead of you carry your phone around, there's a very good possibility that you might have a butler, assistant, helper robot following you around from room to room, maybe even follow you around when you go out to eat or go out to do service or go out to do stuff. It'll be just be like everybody has their own personal assistant butler now, and it's kind of the merge of the phone service robot, kind of more into, instead of separate things, it's more into, like you said, you're what, 20, you said 2050. Yeah, I definitely see that. I do agree with you there. I think that's gonna, they're kind of merged together.
yes, see, I have a calculation which I have done. Just let me tell you. If you see, like, let's talk about the mobile phone, how it has evolved. Okay, so let's say the iPhone that which is developed by Steve Jobs. Okay, it was 2007. Okay, 2007 June 29 that iPhone released. All right, but before that, it was done by Mr. Rob Stewart in 1995. Okay, but again before that, if you see earlier, it was then done in 1992. But the iPhone, which has came up in the market, it was in 2007. And if you see from 2007 till now, as a average year, that saturated the market with the iPhone or the smartphone, whether it's a Apple or like Samsung or Huawei, whatever, it took almost 13 years to take the market. I mean, it's saturated when everybody has, even my children, my son, my daughter, they all are playing with the smartphone. So basically what happened, it took already 28 to 30 years if we count from 1992. All right. So now the market for the robot, let's say phase one, okay, that started from 2000, let's say 17 or 2015. Even if we calculate from 2015, the first phase, let's say, will complete by 2030. It will be 13 years. If we, let's say, pandemic started 2019 and then 22, but the robotics thing which came to the market is 2017. So 2017 and then 2030, it's almost 13 years that the first phase of the robotics saturation will be done. And then by 2045, every single human will be with robots, whether it's a form of mobile or a form of humanoid robot services or the small baby robot which you could see. Yes, it is going to be the evolution or the revolution that done in the smartphone. Same thing is going to happen in the robots, and this we have to believe, because the way the artificial intelligence is coming up in the market in every service or every sector, the robot will be there with it.
Yeah, I agree. The If anything, I think the pandemic has sped up that process. There is so many, like I tell people, so when we have events like disasters or pandemics or unfortunate events happen, there's so many opportunities for robots to help us. And the great thing is, uh, I really think that in the future, governments and local, state, and federal governments, and even like the UN, I think could have a reserve of. I know I'm kind of get off a tangent now, but I could have a reserve of robots for those situations. So the great thing about a robot is uh, you don't have to lay it off. If anything, you can put it in a storeroom for emergencies. Or you can have it in your garage. Uh, and then when bad things happen, when unfortunate things happen, uh, so like if you need a robot, if the flu's really bad this year, you can get the robots out of the storeroom and have them with their UVC lamps and their defoggers. Uh, if we have to social distance for some reason, you can have the delivery robots show up and help out as assistant helpers. They alleviate that stress. You know, like a lot of uh, warehouse workers are overworked right now, so uh, they're like during Christmas or during peak times, like when people are under stress and our supply chains under stress, you can break out the warehouse robots to help out. Um, and like so, the great thing is that they don't have kids and a wife to feed or to support, so you can put them in like a little room somewhere and then break them out in case of emergencies. Um, but I do like the idea of the great idea, especially because like when your parents are getting older, your grandparents are getting older. Uh, I love the idea of having. You may not be able to be there, but you could have a robot in the house for them. And the other really cool thing is that's happened over the last year. We've had telepresence robots for years now, but telepresence robots I think are great for people that have uh, maybe they're sick, they have to stay at home. Uh, Maybe they unfortunately had an accident, or or for whatever reason they're incapacitated for a day, a week, a month. It'd be great for them to have a service robot in the home that assists them, and it also be great for the telepresence. So, like, let's say I can't leave my home for some reason for a few weeks or a month. Maybe I could use a telepresence robot to be more involved. Because I think Zoom phone calls are great, Zoom conferences are great, but I think having a telepresence robot and having that more interaction between you and the whatever place you're at is a great another great application for robots in the future.
Yeah, see, actually, the idea for the home robots, why I got it and how I got it. Actually, I'm in Kuwait, and I have been, like working with these nationals and expatriate everybody. The over here, most of the people they go for their job, okay, and they keep housemaid or servant at home, okay. Now, to monitor the children, let's say baby that they're staying at home, how to know? I mean, are they safe, or they're sleeping, or they are secure? Now, the robot which is I am developing, basically, it is going to be like a telepresence. You can control the robot even if you are at your office. You can control the robot. You can see. You can call up the robots. You can talk to the children. You can talk to the maid, and you can move the robot from one room to another room, to the dining hall or to the living room. Okay, and this robot also will be alert as a security guard. Okay, if there's a problem at home with a fire and all, it will be sending the message immediately or calling the owner. Okay, and then in the night, if it is a burglar is there, okay, so of course then there's another alert. So those kind of things, let's say you are in the night, you're going to sleep, and then your door is not closed and locked, so it's going to give you the alert again. So like it's like a smart home with smart robot, but holistic solution it will be involved in it. But again, it's artificial intelligence and the cloud services altogether will be fitting.
Oh yeah. 5G. I've talked to a lot of friends lately. 5G is going to be a huge benefit for the cloud robotics, cloud AI. A lot of people are diving into using AWS, RoboMaker, and Google Assistant, some other cloud AI. Yeah, it's yeah, it's gonna be really cool for the cloud robotics stuff.
Yes, 5G will be required for this kind of solutions. But as I was doing the research and all, but China has already started with the 6G. And I have already tested my robots with 5G. And honestly speaking, there is no latency in the communication or the data transfer. It is very fast and it is really pretty good. And it is excellent. And 5G is going to do a great job.
Very cool. Before I forget, one side note. If you have not watched, I don't know why I can't remember the name of the movie. There's this great movie. Michael Crichton wrote this movie. Tom Selleck. I don't know if you knew who Tom Selleck is. Magnum PI. And he's in other TV shows and movies. He was a robot cop. And so if I wish I could remember the name of the movie. Michael Crichton wrote it. I think produced and directed it. It was like in the 80s, and robots were everywhere. And Tom Selleck was running around as a robot cop, and he would take care of runaway robot. I think it's like runaway whatever. Yeah, I'm sorry I can't remember the name, but I always like bringing that movie up because Michael Crichton talked about the stuff back in, I think it was 83, 84 with this movie. So if you haven't seen this movie, I'll put when I post this video, I'll find the link to the movie so people can watch it because it's a pretty cool movie.
That would be great.
Easy, but Michael Crichton does a good job of predicting how robots will be everywhere in the home, in businesses and stuff.
Yes, robot is going to be everywhere, and that is the reason, honestly speaking, I have given many free lectures and free seminars on the robots just to educate our like community or the human, especially for the parents, because if the parents don't understand what is the future is going to be, then their children will be missing the actual knowledge that they will be in the market as a next generation. Okay, so they have to know this robot part, and it's become really buzzword in the market. And nowadays all parents, they are putting their children into robotics classes to learn the coding or basic structure, how to join like a Lego, how to put the robots together and program. So as you said, the robot is going to be everywhere. It is going to be everywhere. It is going to be our like a personal assistant, and it's going to be like a living pal with us in future.
Yes, definitely. Do you have what kind of a robot education do you have in Kuwait? Because here we have some really cool stuff going on. I don't think it's focused, but we have Lego leagues, Lego challenges, we have VEX competitions. Unfortunately, a lot of them have been postponed or went virtual this year. We have First Robotics, which is a high school event where kids in high school for here we have 4 years of high school, they can be involved in a robotics competition every year. And there's lots of stuff about First. You have people who do project lead stuff and documentation and marketing, and then they have the robot builders and programmers and drivers. What kind of stuff is going on in Kuwait?
Okay, in Kuwait we have a combination. Okay, as you said, Lego is there, and then we have also Ubitech from China. Then from India we have J Robotics. Okay, And these are the like a like a different small parts where you join in different shape, and then you program in your laptop and then see the movement. Okay, this is what is the basic structure for, say, let's say, I mean, KG class or class 1, standard 1 till 4, 5, 8. Now when you go to the little bit higher standard, then we have another form of robots, okay, which we call Helios. Okay, it's a laser robotics from China. It's a small robot. It's a full form of robots. So where we give the complete code from the scratch till the end, how to make the movement of the robots with the different, like a sitting style. Like if you see the now, okay. So now it is like really advanced, but again, it's a coding and everything you have to do with like blocky. So this is what we are having. Okay, this is for the standard, let's say A level, O level. And when we go to the universities or the like colleges, then we provide this big guys. Okay. Now what is happening over there? We have a different parts. Let me just show you how it happens. So
Oh,
now,
cool.
if you see, so you can just let me show you. So now you can see this part, right?
Right.
So I have opened it. Okay. Now, if you see carefully, so there are so many parts over here. Okay, and then we teach the children how does it work. I mean, the assembly, then programming, everything.
Wow.
So this is for the like engineering college, okay, and so like how the parts are developed. So we use the 3D printer, okay, and then 3D printer, then we make the prototype, and then prototype from there, then we show how the servo motors will be involved, then what are the chips would be there, okay, then facial recognition, what are the cameras will be there, what will be software. So then all together as a structure, then we train them, and then this robot will be in the college, in the lab, to follow how does it work.
Oh, very cool. We might have to. I've been into 3D printing since the MakerBot cupcake back in what 2009, late 2009, early 2010. We might have to do something in the future where we talk education and robot classes and 3D printing and STEAM stuff. Very cool.
Mhm. So, and, in your place, how is the, I mean, education part? I mean, is it very demanded over there? And what are the different robotics program they have?
Um, that's an interesting question. I think the big problem in the U.S. Uh, we're not focused yet. We always seem in the education field, we always seem to be a few years behind, 4 or 5 years behind. So right now, the emphasis is on computer programming, computer games, VR. Well, VR is kind of new, but it just kind of lagging because the demand's there. So what's going to happen is the colleges and the universities are going to have to start meeting that demand. So so what, like 3D printing 10 years ago, uh, there wasn't a lot of demand for well, demand started picking up for people who could use CAD design, 3D design. So that's kind of being filled, and the programming uh, is starting to be filled, but we're sort of lagging in the robotics area. So like I like to use FIRST as a great example. FIRST was a great idea. So FIRST is for high school students. It's a competition, a robot competition. But I think FIRST could do so much more because um, uh, instead of having these kind of made up events and competitions where you have frisbees and beach balls and inanimate objects, you can make it more real world where you have like a mock-up of a business or an office or a home, and then you say, kids, program your robot to go to the refrigerator, open it up, get out a bottle of water, then navigate to the bed or the sofa or wherever to where the person is. I think there's so many cool opportunities that like our first competition could do and make it more real world. So tell the kids, take your robot, put some lamps on it, pretend like it's UVC lamps, maybe put a defogger on it, and then have it navigate around and disinfect the room. Or so, like I said, simple stuff like picking things up off the floor, getting food or an item for somebody for some reason you can't leave their bed or leave their couch. There's all kinds of, I think, cool opportunities. We just need to be a little more focused, I think, in the US, and be a little more reactive instead of not, like, because we're always kind of waiting for this huge demand to occur, and then we develop the education for it. We need to kind of look a little more into the short-term and long-term future and say, hey, robotics is going to be big. We need to jump into it now, and we need to give people avenues, both in 4-year, 2-year, and maybe like a vocational, maybe not a degree, but some kind of certification in robotics and stuff. So we are kind of lagging, unfortunately, here in the U.S., but I think the demand is going to force the colleges and universities to do something about it.
About now, I just want to know a few things about USA. Now, how is the acceptance of the service robot in the market by people in USA? For example, let's say we are working on certain solutions for the banks, for the education, for the shopping malls, for the retail chain stores, okay, and also for telecom also. Now in GCC, honestly speaking, we are really developing very fast, and they are implementing the solution, the robotics and AI. But how is the market for USA? Are they accepting? Are they, or is there any challenges to deploy the solution?
So, excuse me.
Yeah.
See, that's a good question. I'm glad you're asking me questions too. But so, unfortunately, so like you mentioned, in Japan, the cartoons and stuff, and then you saw these cartoons, and that kind of got you interested in involved robotics. So in some cultures like Japan, I've noticed, Korea and China, robots. This is a long answer to your question, but they're more of the helper, the hero. Unfortunately, we still have a little stigmatism or social branding kind of, because back in 1984, we had a movie come out. I think it's 84. It's called Terminator.
Yeah.
Everybody, so Terminator, it kind of is in our culture, is our culture now. When we see robots in the US, unfortunately, the first thing, well, maybe not exactly the first thing, if maybe the second thing, the first thing is it going to take my job? And then the second thing is it going to kill me? Because I watched Terminator when I was a kid, and I love those movies, and Arnold Schwarzenegger running around, that rogue AI, Skynet. So whenever somebody, and wherever you talk robotics and AI in the US, unfortunately, the first thing that comes to your mind is Arnold Schwarzenegger and Skynet. So
I agree with you.
So we have this social, so it's interesting, different cultures, because fortunately I've been able to go to Japan a couple times, and I have few people I've met and know and friends in Japan, and their culture is definitely more that the robot is the hero, the robot is the good guy, the robot is the champion, the robot is the protector. And in the U.S., unfortunately, it's the Terminator Skynet thing.
The reverse.
But yeah, but I think, of course, the other thing was, is it going to take my job? So last year, so it's interesting to evolve. So last year in 2019, my sales pitch, or the thing everybody was asking me about, was unemployment is really low. I can't fill jobs, the simple jobs, the repetitive jobs, the boring jobs. I can't fill those. This is 2019. I can't fill those because nobody wants to do the same job over and over and over again. They get bored. Uh, Maybe they work at my company for a few weeks, a month, or 6 months, or a year, get experience, and they want to do something more. So the conversation was, uh, can a robot do a simple, repetitive task? And my answer was yes. So, but it has evolved. So this year it's kind of evolved a little bit, and it's kind of evolved more into how can a robot help assist uh, in an emergency, a disaster, uh, a pandemic. Not just because everybody's concentrating on COVID-19 and pandemics, but they're also starting to think now, what can a robot do in other situations, other disasters, other unfortunate events, both not just countrywide, but just think of, like you said, think of a grandparent or a parent as they're getting older, they need assistance, they need help. Or let's say, unfortunately, you get in an accident tomorrow and you have surgery and you can't walk for a week, a month, or so on. The assistant, the helper robots. So the conversation. So this is a long rambling response, but the conversation is becoming more. Yes, there's more to automation than just replacing or filling a job that I can't fill. Now it's coming, how can I use automation and robotics and AI to fill roles, assistant helper roles. So it's not robot replacing us. Is robots do really good at simple, repetitive, boring jobs, and we are better at the creative, imaginative, developing, programming stuff. So instead of, robot replace us, we just kind of work together. So that conversation, I think, is becoming more advanced now than it was last year. But yes, unfortunately, there is a little bit of a sell job. You have to explain to somebody. I just recently, in social media, in my social media circles, I just recently saw on Twitter, people are reposting this video of this service robot. I think it's in China. It's at the top of an escalator, and it looks like the robot is trying to go down the escalator, but can't, and it falls and rolls down, and it hits a couple people. So people are like, oh, is this the first incidence of a robot hurting somebody? What's that mean? So there's also a security robot in the U.S. company where, unfortunately, I think the robot has actually run into a few people a couple times in the last 4 or 5 years. So so I guess what I'm trying to say is there's apprehension, but the market is there, the demand and the need is there. It's up to people like you and me to explain the safety, the how advanced. It's like a telepresence robot. I tell this people all the time. Telepresence robots have been around for what, over 5 years, 5-10 years. There's been applications for telepresence robots for years now. So you can use robots safely in homes, in businesses. You can use robots safely in any environment as long as they're, you know, you program them and you test them and all that kind of stuff. So I keep rambling on and on about this, but the market is there, and I think you're going to see in next year and as the years go on that eventually the robots are going to be there, and as people see them in the workplace and see the benefits. Amazon employees, they're a great example. Amazon employees have been working with robots in their warehouses for years now. And I think once they started seeing how the robots were helping them and not just replacing them, I think they see the benefits. So it's like you said on the education and for the kids. I see all kinds of opportunities for kids, for high school students, like in the US. So with FIRST, if you have real world robots and real world situations for the robots to compete in and to do in, then those kids can go to their local restaurant, place of business, and say, I've been doing FIRST for 4 years. I know robotics. I can help you with your robot in your office. Because one of the stumbling blocks, this is another great topic I think we can talk about for a few minutes. One of the stumbling blocks about selling a robot is if you try to sell a robot to a restaurant owner. I found a lot of restaurant owners know a lot about how to run a restaurant, how to prepare food, customer service. They know a lot about their part of the business. But when you bring a robot into their business, they're like, well, maybe I took a programming class in school. I know a little bit about electronics. I can fix stuff around my restaurant. I don't know nothing about this robot. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how it evolves, because I know I keep talking on, but maybe you can talk about this here in a second. But I think as a robot company, I don't know right now if the solution is just to sell the robot to somebody. Say, here's the robot. It's $10,000. Take it. I'll never see or talk to you again. That's not going to work right now, because right now, if you sell a computer to a company, they have they have at least people who know how to use the computer, and they have an IT, and maybe even have an IT department. Most companies don't have a robotics division or department. They don't have somebody at their company that's a robots repairman, programmer, or servicer. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, at least in the US, I think the lease model, the rental model, and maybe like a service contract. So if I was advising somebody who's trying to get into the US market, I would say, don't do here's the robot, it's $10,000, buy, I'll never talk to you ever again. I might give you a 6-month warranty. I might give you a year warranty, and after that, I'll never talk to you again. I think it's a challenge, but it's an opportunity where you say, here's my $10,000 robot, but here's also a service contract, or you're going to lease the robot, kind of like Pepper, SoftBank does with Pepper. Here's the robot, but I'm going to support it. I'll be there 24/7, phone or Zoom or I'll be there to help you set it up. The big thing is setup. I'll be there to help you set it up and then maybe adapt it, program it for your business.
Yeah, actually, it is nice, whatever you said, I agree with you. But the thing is that in the market, what you have to understand, the robot is coming up as a market driven or market driver, then productivity driven, and then commercial driver. Okay, at the same time, then it's coming as a, like a house stuff. So just let me give you example one by one. Now, when I say like productivity driven or productivity driver, means let's go to a hospital or let's go to a restaurant. Now, when you are going to a hospital, means either you are sick or I am sick. That is the reason I'm going to hospital, right? This is number one. If I am going to a restaurant, means I am a guest and I'm going to eat the food. So if the restaurant is really big, it's a capacity of, let's say, 100 to 200 seater, okay, and I have only few numbers of waiter, let's say, and the restaurant is full and waiter is not able to handle the guest. Now, when the guest is coming to eat the food in the restaurant, basically I have to give the hospitality services, means I have to attend the guest, I have to hear their request, what they need to eat, what are the next order, what is the bill payment next, right? So if I am going to give the humanity touch or human touch interaction, people to people, then it's fine. Now, for example, when the food is coming from the kitchen to the table, the guy or the waiter who's bringing the food is not talking to anybody. He's not talking or interacting with anybody, correct? Let's say the time he is walking from the kitchen to the table, it may take 5 minutes. Now that 5 minutes, we can deploy a robot that from the kitchen then come to the table, deliver the food, whoever the waiter is there, take the food and give it to the guest. Now, this 5 minutes, the guy who's traveling as a human, he's not talking to anybody, he's not interacting with people or human, means I am losing the interaction of human that time I can invest with the waitress who's giving the services. So over here, that means we are killing the time and increasing the productivity where you are investing in the guest. So this is number one criteria in terms of productivity in the restaurant. Let's go to a hospital. Let's say you are in a queue and it's a big queue. Okay, there's a different queue is there. Maternity is there, general physical is there. Okay, the dermatology is there, dentist is there. And if I have the robots services, once you go inside the reception and the robots welcome you and then ask you which services you want. Let's say you are looking for the GP, and then the robots will immediately tell you, okay, this is GP, doctor name so and so, and it's available. So if you want to book the appointment now, okay, so immediately you can book it, make the payment from the robot. So this robot, it has a payment system which you can put your ID or your bank card and make the payment, get the slip. The robot will tell you which room to go or which floor to go. And if you don't know the direction, the robot can give you the direction. Okay. So that means this kind of solution which can help you to save your time or the queue if you are in the emergency. So those kind of solutions to be taught or to be created awareness or educated in the market, there is the solution, as you said, like if you are giving 10,000 USD dollar and then tell this is your robot and take it. No, no, nobody will like it. You have to show them the benefits, the productivity result and the revenue, and then of course they will take. As I said, the market driven. Now, what is market driven? The market is moving towards robotic solutions. Now, as I'm watching in a different platform on the social media, and there are lots of advertisement and marketing content that is coming from America for different universities that they need like 250,000, like artificial intelligence professional, which is not in the market. Now, that means whether it's a shortage in the market or not, but they are creating the market to be in this industry. So people are going to be in the market with the robots. So this is market driven. So people will follow the market. Okay. And then let's say, as I said, the home stuff. Okay, now I am staying in Kuwait as well as I keep traveling to Dubai. I have, honestly speaking, I have requests from this Kuwait national, many ladies. Okay, they said I need the robot who can do the massage, who can clean the clothes or pick up the plates and keep it as a dishwasher, and then also fold the iron and fold the press the clothes. So those kind of demand is there. So now if you see the people that they're thinking, because see at the end of the day we might not get the human which is 100% skilled, but you can train the robot as a more skillful as per your demand, what you need and what you are looking for, which is not possible maybe in the human. Maybe that human is very intelligent, but might not be integrate everything in the mind to act according to my demand. But what I need to do my job, I can program this robot to the 100% level, whether it's a repetitive job or the scheduled job, it can be done. So this is for the house stuff. Now, as I said, productivity, market, and house stuff. Let's say at the education awareness. Now, let's say people like us and you, and there are many people in the market, those who are doing robotic business or the manufacturing. We have to create or invest our time to create the awareness, educate people that so that they can understand what is robot, what is the service robot, what is the solution, what is the benefit, what is the revenue in terms of business if I'm going to implement. So this is we have to really concentrate. Let's come to our hospitality, our hotel. Now I have already developed few solutions for hotels in Dubai. I'm working with a consultant and they are looking for the robotic solution completely. Now you talk about the luggage. Okay, it's a bellboy. So we will not have the bellboy, but we have the robots where we'll put the luggage from the car, it go to the reception until it get checked in the guest, the robot stand over there. Once the guest check in the room number, the robot will go to the rooms and then the porter follows and then the porter will drop the luggage to the room and the robot goes. So this is with the robot of the luggage. Then we are coming to the information marketing promotion robots. As I said, let's say if you're in a Dubai and I'm first time coming in a Dubai, then I don't know what are the site to review. So this robot can give you the complete information and tell you what time it's open the site, what is the fees to go there, how long it will take for you to go, okay? Those kind of things. At the same time, that robot can give you the complete information about the hotel, where is the gym, where is the swimming pool, how many restaurant is there, what is the timing, everything. So those solutions, if you implement in a revenue generation, and then I am sure, I mean, the business or industry, they will accept this. And this is the future, it's going to happen. I mean, see now, when you are watching the movies of Hollywood movies, we are watching, and when we are watching, we are expecting the same thing in our life. As you said, Terminator. Okay, it was a theme that time. It was created as a Terminator. But if you see the robot and compare Terminator, it's not the same now. It has changed. So the mentality is changing, and it will change slowly, slowly. As I said, the market driven. As the market moves, the trend will make it way to go ahead.
Oh yeah. So yeah, this is yeah, to me this is a really interesting conversation and topic that I'm talking more and more to people, uh, and how it evolves and where it goes. It is going to be like I think it's going to be cool. It's fascinating. Lots of opportunities, I think, for entrepreneurs and for people, not only for starting up a business, but I think in the future, like I was saying, more companies are going to start developing a robotics instead of having an IT department. Well, they'll have an IT department, but they'll also have a robotics department. Will they have a maintainer or a programmer in-house? And so instead of so for people who sell robots, it'll slowly evolve into you not talking to the CEO or the CTO or somebody, or vice president. You'll start talking to somebody, the chief robotics officer, I think, chief CRO, chief robotics officer,
Yes, CRO. Yes, Chief Robotic Officer.
You'll start talking, but that there's going to be a little bit of a transition because companies don't realize they need a CRO or they need a robotics department. So the bigger companies will, at first, you're going to have to be their support, IT, you know, repair, programmer, developer, but eventually that will evolve. So it's going to be kind of cool to see how this all works because to me, um, it's see, last year I saw there's a huge opportunities for service robots. But if anything, 2020 has reinforced to me that it just makes business sense to have you maybe not have them full time, but you have them there for peak times. You have them there for situations that come up. So uh, let's say you have a place of business, just a generic business. Uh, let's say next year we have a bad flu outbreak and half your employees are sick. Don't have them come into work. That's stupid. In today's environment, don't have sick people come into work. Have them work from home and then have robots there to fill in for them, telepresence, whatever. So, like, if you have 5 janitors or people who clean your bathrooms and clean your floors, what happens if 1, 2, 3 get the flu or can't come into work for a couple days? They can work from home and monitor the janitor robot that's cleaning to make sure that he's, they can, through telepresence and through video and audio, they can monitor the robot and make sure it's cleaning the bathrooms from home. They don't have to physically watch the robot. So to me, there's so many, it just makes so much business sense now in today's environment to have robots there, not to replace you, but to help you, like you said, your productivity. There's because there's lots of stuff. So if you look at somebody who looks at their job, there's stuff they do at their job that is boring. They don't like. And usually what it comes back to is something that's very repetitive. It's something very simple. And well, that's where robots are perfect. Robots are perfect for simple tasks that you do over and over again. Automation, same way. AI and automation the same way. When you have a simple repetitive task you do every day, why are you doing that task? Instead, automate that task through AI or robotics or whatever. So I totally agree. It makes, to me, it makes too much business sense not to have something in robotics or developing robotics for hospitals. Hospitals are a great example. Uh, Hospitals are kind of in the U.S. I don't know how this is in Kuwait, but hospitals in the U.S. are kind of behind the curve. They seem to be technology-wise. They seem to be 5, 10 years back there. You can use IoT, robotics, AI, software automation, and you can make the hospital experience better for the patient, for the nurse and the doctor, because especially right now, it's a great example. They're overstressed. They've got so much going on. They're changing PPEs. They're disinfecting themselves. They're washing their hands. They're they're changing PPEs after each patient. Why not have a robot in the loop here and there to help out restaurants? I mean, we can talk about this for hours, the business case and the business solutions and how it can help. But with social distancing, why are you having somebody bring food out from the back area to the table? Have a robot do that, and then like you said, you can still have somebody, that a waiter or waitress, that or a boss or a supervisor that walks around, talks, communicates. So you're improving with the customer. So you're improving the customer experience. But like I said, we could probably go on for hours and hours and just pick a business and say, oh, this is why they should have a robot. This is the businesses behind it. And because to me, it just makes too much sense today.
See, actually, in Middle East, okay, in the GCC countries, uh, not only GCC countries, even from Iraq, okay, we have lots of requests on robots, especially for the office now, because they say we want the receptionist robot or reception robots who can attend the call, who can fix the meeting, who can take the guest to the manager, okay? So these kind of things. Now, and in GCC countries now, there are, now we talk about Saudi, we talk about UAE, Dubai, or Abu Dhabi, then we talk about Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, Bahrain. Every single country, they are talking about the smart city. Okay. Now, when they're talking about smart city, they are making fully Wi-Fi, where they will have 5G, they have IoT, they have artificial intelligence, and these robotic services. Because when you say smart, I mean everything. I mean your technology, the advanced technology to the maximum should be implemented to have a smart city where the life of people become more smart than lagging behind. So in this case, the robot is playing a major role. Now, whether you talk about the driverless car, okay, whether you talk about the automation, okay, and all these things coming to your picture, and these robots, I mean, this nowadays that lidar or the automation, then AI, deep learning machine, all this is helping to develop this kind of solution or technology to make our life more easy. So when you say smart cities, I mean all this technology will come inside. So as you said, like in future, people will not bother about the money to invest, because what I am watching, as per my experience from last 3 years, from 2017 till now, people are thinking in a different way. Either this robot is becoming a crowd puller as a marketing agent. This is the one. Number two, what is like it's becoming again. This is what I'm saying. It's about the GCC countries. Okay, it's becoming like one of the like luxury things or something different that I want to have first in my business. Okay, so let's say if I'm talking, let's say if I'm the owner of a hotel, then I will implement this robotic solution fast so that I create the trend. This is what is going on in GCC, and it will move very, very fast than any other countries. That, as per my experience, that I'm going through and having the demands and the calls and the requests. This is what I'm sharing with you.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Okay.
So one of the things so when I talk to companies, the branding. So it so having a robot in your hospital, your restaurant, your business, um, it shows you're thinking about the future, and it shows you're kind of not with it, but you're forward thinking, and it helps promote your business, helps brand your business. Um, but it also so the first hospital that has robot assistance is going to get a lot of free PR. The first restaurant chain, so like McDonald's or Wendy's, so our fast food restaurants. So the first fast food restaurant chain in the U.S. that starts using robots in there is going to get a lot of, I think, good PR. So the first companies are going to get a lot of good free PR. But if you're the second company, you'll get some a benefit from it, but it's not going to be as great as the first company. The third company is less, and the fourth company is even less. So what I tell people is, being the first adapter, somebody who jumps into robotics is not a bad thing. I think it it shows your company's forward thinking, your company's thinking of the future, your company's thinking both of the customer and the customer experience and improving the customer experience, and you're also you're improving your workers' experience too. So I think the first companies who jump in now and start working and developing robots now are going to see a lot greater benefit than if you wait for 5, 6 years from now. Waiting for everybody else to fix all the problems, I think maybe you're behind the curve a little bit. So yeah, the branding, I like that. The branding, showing your company's forward thinking in both of the customer and of the employees. Yeah, that's a great point.
See, in Kuwait, I have delivered few robots, okay? And honestly speaking, there was a restaurant who just opened 3 months back, okay? And they took our robots, and believe me, because of the robot, the restaurant has become really famous. Now, any customer who's coming, they're asking, the robot is there? If the robot is there, then we'll eat, or others will go. Now, this is number one. Number two, it has created free marketing for the restaurant, because whoever passing by, coming in, they are just taking the videos and the pictures and putting in Instagram, Facebook, wherever. So it's like a buzz for them. So this is one way to, make fame of your business by having the robots as a first trend, as a trendsetter. So this is, as you said, it's a marketing point, PR. It's a very huge, big PR. Like this, then we have some few malls where we have deployed the malls, in the malls, and then robots are moving, and these children and parents, they are getting excited to talk to the robots, shake hands with the robots, hug the robots, greeting the robots, okay, then guiding the robots. There are lots. It's only depend how the solution is implemented, where it is implemented, and it's depend on the customer again. Is he willing to buy the robots? If he buys the robot, what is the benefit he is going to get in terms of ROI? So this is very important. If we can show them the ROI is a short span, then of course it will go for it.
Oh yeah, I can't agree more. I think one of the last topics that I'll bring up is, so at least right now, if you're in the service robot business or trying to sell a service robot, there is a challenge. There's a lot of restaurants and businesses that are really challenged right now, revenue wise. So I think your points that you've been bringing up are great, because yes, you're very challenged revenue wise, but how are you going to overcome that? And I think the benefits for a robot, there are so many benefits that a robot can provide your business, that yes, you have to put the capital up to buy the robots and whatever, but I think there's lots of really cool benefits to improving your revenues through lots of ways. And one of them, yes, the robots are great PR, but at least for me, I may be an exception, but if I come into a place of business and I see a robot there and it's cleaning or disinfecting, or it's giving that social distancing, I think to myself, hey, this restaurant is smart. This restaurant's thinking about me. This restaurant's trying to adapt to the world around it. So I not only do I think the robot's cool, and I'll take my picture of it and I'll put it on Facebook or Instagram, but I'm thinking, this person, this owner is thinking of me and helping protect me from the pandemic or something in the future. So um, I know that capital up front is challenging in this in today's time and today's shutdowns and revenue issues, but uh, like you said, we have to sell that. We have to show the benefits, the financial benefits for a company in buying robots.
See, actually, what happens if you are locally present in any countries and doing the business, there are a few criteria and the factors that you have to keep it in your mind. First of all, robot is really expensive to buy for anybody. Now, as you said, that if it is a cleaning, if it is a disinfection and doing the social distance, yes, it's a smart, because during this pandemic, that is in our head to count. Okay, so if I know the owner of the business that I'm going to talk about the robots and the solutions, over here, the trust, how much is the trust you have with the person that you're talking to, that you're going to give the solution. Okay, so if the trust is very strong, 100%, then of course he's going to invest with you in your robot in the business. So everywhere what I see at present, if every business, those who are doing as a robotic business, service robots, they should have strong relationship as a trust factor with those clients or the customers that they are going to sell the robots. So if it is very strong, they will buy. Either the payment system would be a 50% advance and 50% after the delivery, or maybe installment where they can have a trust together and go ahead. As you said, the capital. So yes, the capital has to be a major factor to see the availability of the capital to invest and how it can be paid so that both have win-win scenarios.
Yeah, it's very cool. So I've taken up a lot of your time, and you've been very generous with your time. And I think we're easily over an hour now. So let's kind of close up. This has been a really good talk. I think the people watching this, and even I've learned a lot. And I found that when you the more you talk and explain some idea and concept, the better you are, the better you personally are at understanding that, the better you are at communicating that. So I always like these talks because they make me better at explaining my thoughts and my ideas. Do you have any closing? Have we skipped something? Is there something that you're really passionate about, or in robotics, or something that you want to add before we close?
Okay, let me just give you the passion thing. As I said, the world will not stop. Okay, it will keep moving ahead. Okay, so why not take that opportunity for us, for me, to create the different or something unique in robotics, so that I become the trendsetter. Okay, may not be Bill Gates, may not be Steve Jobs, but somewhere you yourself or myself can become a robotic hero with the robot services and solutions. So this is what I am striving very hard to create, that environment and the scenario for the whole humanity in this world.
Oh yeah, very cool. Uh, I think actually I think that's a really good place to end. I think you kind of summed everything up, and we've talked about a lot of stuff, and I really appreciate your time. So I'm gonna kind of stop the video now. So I appreciate everybody. I appreciate your time, and everybody tuning in and watching this. And I hope to see you in the next video.
I really thank you so much for connecting me and taking your time to listen to my conversation. And it is my pleasure. I really appreciate that you have really invested your time during this time. Sunday, even the Christmas is going on, you have holidays, you might have to give time to your families. But still, you have come up with the time to talk and know more thing about me and the companies and the business and the ideas of the robots in the future, what is going to happen. So thank you so much, Mr. Michael. Have a nice day. Take care and let us have optimistic for 2021. And I wish you very happy New Year 2021 in advance.
Yeah, oh yeah, you too, and everybody out there watching. Thank you.